Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand. It is Erik ten Hag's press conference the night before the first game back in the Champions League, and of course it is Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena. Wow, is this an exciting game? Is it exciting? Are you nervous? I'm not going to lie, I'm extremely nervous going into this game, and I want to come here and be positive, but the facts are I wouldn't be telling the truth. I really don't think we're going to get anything out of this game. I think we're going to lose, and I never ever in my time at the United Stand have ever predicted us to lose, but I just don't see anything but Erik ten Hag has been speaking, Onana has been speaking, and we're here to bring you all the latest from Erik ten Hag and Onana. And to be fair, you know, sometimes with press conferences there can be really good questions, there can be questions where you think, why are you asking that? But overall the questions I thought were pretty decent. Adam asked a good one as well. The United Stand are over there at the moment, Adam is there, and do you know what, interesting story about that, interesting story. Whether me or Adam would go to Bayern Munich, it was the flip of a coin. Adam won it. So I'm in Manchester, he's in Munich, and to be honest with you, depending on how the result goes tomorrow, I'll be thinking, oh, that was a good one from me, or it was a bad one. But at the moment, I am a little bit jealous. But we're here to bring you all of Erik ten Hag's quotes, and he's talking about a reset, he's talking about Harry Maguire's injury, he's talking about Hojlund. Would he have rather have bought Kane than Hojlund? I mean, what a question to kind of put to him there. Obviously, he said he wouldn't have, but he's going to say that, isn't it? And Onana as well, speaking about taking over from David De Gea, his issue with Harry Maguire, and if he is only just good with his feet. There's lots to get into, everyone, but welcome to the chat. John Graham says, did Adam ask about Maguire again? No, he didn't actually. No, he didn't ask about Maguire again. It was a good question that he put forward to him, and we'll be bringing it to you here as well. But yeah, let's get into it. The first question was about Maguire though, and he got asked about injuries, Varane, Mount, etc., and Maguire also pulling up with an injury too, and he basically said that he was in training, but he finished the training session, but he's just not good enough to travel, as in he had something small and he's just not quite good enough to travel. So I assume it's something small with Harry Maguire. Gonna be completely honest with you, when I saw this story come out a few hours ago that Maguire wasn't travelling because of injury, I immediately thought, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. How often is Maguire getting these little injuries, or he's out of the squad due to, you know, illness or injury? Recently, like, it keeps happening, and Maguire never gets injured. Remember that period at United where he just wasn't injured for years, for I think over a year, like he just wasn't injured. He's not an injury-prone player. So to see him keep getting these little injuries, never injured for England, is he? I just don't believe it, if I'm going to be honest with you. But that's what Erik ten Hag's saying, and apparently he's not good enough to travel. I don't know if something's gone on behind the scenes, and this is literally pure speculation, where ten Hag's low-key, like deep down, really not happy that Maguire didn't leave in the summer. We know he didn't want him. We know he wanted a different centre-back. But also on the other side, I think to myself, the transfer window's closed. We're literally travelling with Johnny Evans. Sorry, Johnny, but like, why is that happening in the year of 2023? Surely you would want to kind of incorporate Maguire if you had the chance, because we have 4 goalkeepers in the squad. Like, we're turning up to the Allianz with 4 goalkeepers in the squad. It is an embarrassment. It generally is an embarrassment. I think the only centre-backs we've got in the squad, out-and-out centre-backs, are Martinez, Lindelof and Evans. So we are short. You would have thought he'd use him if he had to, but it just, you know when you speculate on something, like, that doesn't really sit right with me. I feel like it just smells a little bit off, this one, but that's where I'm at on it. That's where I'm at on it. And obviously, we know now that Mount and Varane will not be travelling, and neither will Amrabat. They're all doing training. I think Mount and Varane were training with the squad. Amrabat and Kobe Mainoo are doing like light sessions on their own. But yeah, they won't be going. And to be fair to you, again, I put out a tweet earlier and I said, this sounds really negative, but there's no point risking for Varane for a game we're probably going to lose with or without him. For me, like, fresh start starts on Saturday. Obviously, I want us to go and put in a really good performance tomorrow, and I hope we fight for everything. I hope we give everything, and hopefully we can get a result. But I'm not counting my lucky stars that we're going to walk out the Allianz Arena with anything but a draw, really. Draws, I feel like the maximum we can get. And I might be being really negative here, but just from what I've seen recently, just from what I've seen in our away record against the top 6. But let's get on with it. I think Faz is in the chat. He won't be happy with me. He won't be happy with me being negative, but this is how I feel, guys. I can't hide it. I can't deny it. But anyway, let's get on to a little bit about the injuries. So he got asked about the injuries, and he said, is it concerning that this many players are getting injured this, you know, straight into the season? And Ten Hag said, yes, of course it is concerning, but we knew that before, and that's why we constructed a squad to deal with it. Do you believe that, Erik? Do you believe you've got a squad good enough to deal with it? Really? When you're looking down at your squad sheet and you've got Johnny Evans coming off the bench, if anything happens to Martinez or Lindelof, Martinez and Lindelof are going to have to play 2 games a week, maxed out, and both of them have injury problems in the past. Do you have a squad to deal with it, Eric? I don't know if you do, to be honest with you, but you know what Eric Ten Hag's like. He's never going to come out and say that. So that's the situation, really. We do ask about injuries a little bit further on, but this is an interesting question that got put to Eric Ten Hag. And to be fair, you know, all these rumours about Harry Kane coming out earlier on, I don't buy it. I know that Eric Ten Hag wanted Harry Kane. Didn't every manager in the world want Harry Kane? Like, Harry Kane is an unbelievable striker. We chose not to go and get him. We heard it was the Glazers not liking the age and the price and the difficulties of getting him out of Spurs. And we chose not to go down that route. Apparently, the rumours were coming out that if United gave Kane assurances, he would have stayed at Tottenham and left next year. I don't believe that, because I feel like we would have done that if it was an option. I know Kane wanted massive wages as well, but anyway, I said on the space earlier on, you know, Harry Kane this, Harry Kane that. At the end of the day, I don't care, because we didn't get him. We're not going to get him. Let's move forward from it. Like, let's move forward. We've got Hojlund now, 20 years old. Let's get behind our player. He looks like he's got great attributes. He's one for the future, so let's get behind him. But Eric Ten Hag did get asked about it, because everybody knows that Eric Ten Hag wanted Harry Kane in the summer, and he said, do you have any regrets about not going for Harry Kane and the decision to go with Hojlund in the summer instead of Harry Kane, a more experienced striker that could come in now? And he says, he shut it down. Ten Hag knows in the media, he says, I think we discussed it in San Diego, and I don't think we have to repeat this debate. We are very happy with Rasmus. We have to integrate him, but he's a big talent and we are confident in him. And then they asked, any regrets about not signing Kane? And Ten Hag said no. So I assume there is probably some regrets about not signing Harry Kane. We know Eric Ten Hag absolutely loves a lie. And let's be honest, everyone in the chat, would you have taken Harry Kane if you could have got him? Of course you would have. Like, I think most people would have, but we didn't. We've got Hojlund. And I'm not saying we shouldn't have got Hojlund, because we should have. But let's be honest, everyone here, a club of Manchester United and the desperate situation we are in need of in the striking situation, a club of Man United's level should have got rid of Martial and got in Hojlund and Harry Kane. That's what should have happened. But the situation is, Harry Kane's at Bayern Munich now. He's pretending like he's a lifelong Bayern fan. Did anyone see that quote that Harry Kane said in his press conference, where he got asked about the treble in '99, and he got asked about it, and he said, yeah, it still hurts. It still hurts, that one. I was like, Harry, come on, Harry. Don't act like you were supporting Bayern Munich back in '99. Like, let's not pretend here. But obviously, all the best to Kane at Bayern Munich, but not tomorrow night. I want him to be completely anonymous, but I am worried about his performance, because we know how good he is. But yeah, everyone in the chat, get your opinions in on that. Like, do you think Eric Ten Hag is telling the truth? Or do we think Eric Ten Hag's having a little lie? We know he loves one. He loves a little lie in his press conferences. I don't believe him when he says he doesn't regret not getting Harry Kane. But here we are. What I do like, though, is that he's recognising the talent that Hojlund is, and he's saying that we are confident in him, because that's exactly what this player needs. At 20 years old, we know he's confident anyway, but he needs confidence in him. He needs belief from his manager, and I think he is getting that. And obviously, he's not the finished article. He looks very raw. But all the attributes look there. He looks passionate. He looks like he'll die for the badge, and they're the basics that you need. And he's got the physical attributes. I think with Hojlund, we really have got a player on our hands, so I am very, very happy that we did buy him, even though we did overpay. Saw someone in the chat say we should go and get Ivan Toney. Did anyone watch Monday Night Football yesterday not Ivan Toney? Ivan Toney wasn't on Monday Night Football. Did anyone watch Monday Night Football with Thomas Frank? Because I thought Thomas Frank, the way he spoke about Ivan Toney was absolutely dead on. And obviously he's going to big him up. He's his player. Like, you know, he's done very well for him at Brentford. But Ivan Toney would be a brilliant player for us to go and buy in January. I really think it would. Yeah, I think it would. But Thomas Frank, you know, he was trying to sell him. You might as well have had, it might have been an episode of Dragon's Den, to be honest with you, with Thomas Frank there, and say the whole Monday Night Football panel and everyone at home was the Dragons looking to invest. He really was selling the dream. When I was listening to Thomas Frank talking about Ivan Toney, I was like, get him in Man United. I've always wanted him, and I do like appreciate he's a top quality player, but he was saying that if number sixes in this market are going for the prices that they're going at, hint, hint, cough, cough, Caicedo, thanks Chelsea for absolutely screwing up the transfer market, and Liverpool as well, who are willing to pay that price, then Ivan Toney's going to go for a lot of money as well. So I assume it's going to be a huge fee, English. Obviously, he had that betting scandal, though. That would probably knock some money off it, because is Man United going to go near a player that has a little bit of a scandal around them at this point? I don't know. I think we've learned our lesson in the past. Obviously, it's a very different situation to what we dealt with Greenwood and Anthony, but it's still something behind the scenes that United have to deal with. But we're going off on a tangent, but I do really think Ivan Toney would be a great addition. I just don't know if Man United would have I don't know if Man United would have the balls to go and get him, to be honest, with everything that's happened. But I think him and Hojlund together would be an absolute dream. He's a proper number 9 that's going to come in. He's going to be pacey, he's going to be physical, he's great off set pieces, he's got a great mentality, he's kind of come through the trenches. I'd love to go and get him, but we'll see. We'll see. Jane Conner de Lion says Erik ten Hag loves to lie, but we don't need Kane. Lol, we have Martial. Do you think Hojlund will start tomorrow night, is the question. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Martial start, and it's not great. It's not great, but what would you rather have Hojlund play for Burnley? Would you rather have him play for tomorrow night at Munich? Because I remember a few weeks ago we were getting told that Hojlund might not be able to play 2 games a week with the back issue he has. That's not great. So I'll be interested to see how Erik ten Hag manages that, because we know he likes to stick to the plan of the medical team. Apart from the rumour circling with Wan-Bissaka, apparently Wan-Bissaka had spoken about a tight hamstring and the medical team advised Erik ten Hag not to play him, but he did. But I don't know how true that is. But anyway, let's move on to more of the press conference. So he got asked about the influence that Bayern Munich has had on Erik ten Hag. We know he's coached there. We know he has past connections. And he says that he liked the mentality from Bayern. We had great years. The first year especially, we were champions. The second year, we were unlucky that we weren't promoted. It was a very good experience and enjoyable. So Ten Hag looking back at Bayern Munich with fond memories. Obviously, it's where he kind of started his coaching off. He was working with Pep Guardiola, and that's where Erik ten Hag kind of really started to build his career. So he's going to have fond memories, and I like the fact he likes the mentality. We know that strong mentality that Bayern have had in the past. They've dropped off a little bit in recent years, but in the past they really have kind of been them mentality monsters throughout Europe. He then got asked, what's next? Oh, yeah, so Onana. This was Adam's question. And he asked Onana how he's settling into English football, if he's enjoying it, and also is it a lot of expectation because he's got to fill the boots of David De Gea. And Onana said that he's a very passionate player, and I demand a lot of my players and my defenders, but like I have always said, we are in this together. So he didn't mention David De Gea once, which is why would he? He's the keeper in now, and obviously all respect to him, but he needs to fulfill this kind of challenge, and it is a big challenge to do so. But he says he demands a lot of his players and defenders, he demands a lot of himself, and we are in this together. He also says to be part of this club is huge, and I'm happy to be here. The start of the season is not what we have wanted, but I am sure that we will improve. I am sure of it. So Andre Onana says he's not worried about the start of the season. It's definitely not what we've wanted, but he knows that they need to improve, and he's willing to do that. And they're in this together as a team. They expect a lot of each other, and he's here to do that. So very, good answer from Onana. Exactly what you'd expect. Nothing kind of groundbreaking there. Hi, by the way, everyone. I think people are joining from the Newcastle game, the Milan-Newcastle game. Can anyone fill me in on what the score is on that? Because I was watching it and Newcastle were getting absolutely turned over. I've been told it was 0-0 in my ear. What would you expect from Newcastle and Milan in the San Siro? Them sort of teams. You could see it coming. Brilliant result for Newcastle. Excellent result for Newcastle, especially considering how much they were getting battered. I mean, Leao, how did he not score? I was watching it earlier on before I did this video, but guys, honestly, that is a great result for Newcastle. But welcome everyone into the chat. Bethbridge, that is becoming a common nickname in the chat. Should I roll with it? Bethbridge. Might get myself a mug with that on. We'll see. I'll ask the boss. But that was Andre Onana talking about that. Let me see where we're up to now. So then Adam asked, I thought, a very, very good question from Adam. He said, you got praised a lot with the style of play that you had with Ajax and getting to a Champions League semi-final and nearly getting to a final. Are you frustrated that you've not really been able to find a style of play with the injuries that you've had and, these knocks that we keep having? And I thought Adam phrased that well, because he wasn't exactly straight up saying to Ten Hag, why have you not got a style of play? But he also kind of did ask that, as well as kind of making a little excuse for him in the sense that we have had a lot of injuries. And He basically said, one thing is true, I have never started with my best starting 11 since last season. I have had to deal with that, and we have to get results. And apart from the period we are in now, we have got results. We have to handle it and manage this situation and focus on the process. So Ten Hag basically resorting back to what he said last year. He said we can't use it as an excuse. He made that clear. But he's never had his full strength starting 11 since he's been here. And what does that really say about our medical department? Medical department needs to come under massive questions. It really, really does, because this amount of injuries, no matter how many games you play, just should not be happening. And I know there's a lot of burnout. I know we played the maximum number of, well, not the maximum number, but the most number of games in Europe last year. I get it. But all of these kind of injuries, just, I don't know, I lost my train of thought there. All of these injuries are happening right now. They're expected to happen, but not in this amount. Like, this amount shouldn't be happening, so the medical department needs to kind of look on that. Someone said that he didn't say that in the exact words. I was listening to it, guys. I might have wrote it down wrong, but that's what I heard from that there. And then he said, got asked about how can they exploit Bayern Munich defensively? We know that they're good attacking in an attacking sense. Harry Kane is obviously a brilliant addition, but they're not the Bayern Munich of old. Let's be honest, they're still massive European giants and they're still a very good team, but they're not the Bayern Munich of old. Can you exploit them defensively? And Ten Hag goes on to say, very skillful, we can't be unfocused even for 1 second. They have so much individual class, but they also leave spaces sometimes. We are very respectful to Bayern at home and we are looking forward to them, but we also trust ourselves. And I like that from Erik ten Hag. He's backing his team. He's got to back his team. Like, you have to have that belief. They trust him, but he's also telling them, you cannot be unfocused for 1 second, because if you are, this Bayern Munich team will punish you. If we go into that game and we are completely focused and switched on, we can grab something on the break. The players we have, Rashford, Garnacho, Hojlund, Bruno, we can grab something. When I said before I don't see us winning, and I just don't see us winning, it wasn't the fact that we're not capable. We are capable of going and winning this game. The moment we're in time at the moment with how unfocused we've been, I don't see it happening because of our behaviours on the pitch. That's why I don't see it happening. But if we are 100% focused, like Ten Hag said, you can get this Bayern Munich side. It is possible. But, you know, with Harry Kane, Musiala, Alphonso Davies, all the players that they've got there, all the threats, you do have to be completely switched on. And if we switch off the way we did in the Brighton game, it will not be a good day for Manchester United there. It won't be, and that's what I mean. That's if I'm Ten Hag and I'm going into that game tomorrow, I'm saying, go and prove everyone wrong. Go and sit down, all of the media that have been criticising you all week. Go and show the fans that you are not the team that showed up to Old Trafford against Brighton. Show them that you have a backbone. Show them that you've got a bit of bite. Be focused and go out there and win it. And let's start our season. Let's play effing football, like Ten Hag said after that Liverpool game. I want that fight. I want that passion. I want focused players. And I hope we kind of start to see this bounce back here. I don't know why the chat just went off then. I'm getting it back up there. But that's what he said when he got asked about, you know, if Bayern Munich are there to be exploited. He said there is space there, but, you know, we've got to be completely switched on. He then he got asked, are you asking the doctors why this is happening, why there's so many injuries? And he said, injuries can always happen, but we have a team and we have to focus on the players available. Ten Hag always goes back to this answer. He doesn't like to give a lot away about injuries at all. He says, I've experienced injuries in the past and I have managed it. You have to deal with it. I like these situations because you have to handle it and know what to do, and you are focusing on the process. The doctors are dealing with the problems. First of all, injuries always come in top football because we are living on the edge. Of course, we analyse why these things happen, but we have to deal with the effects. Again, very PR answers from Erik ten Hag, although I don't know if he meant it when he says I like these situations because we have to handle it. I don't like these situations. I'd definitely rather have all of my players fit. And obviously Erik ten Hag wants all of his players fit. Like, let this sink in, guys. Amrabat still not played a minute for us. Mount has played 2 games. Hojlund's only just played his home debut at Old Trafford. They're 3 of his signings. Reguilon literally just played at Old Trafford. Another signing on deadline day. A lot of Erik ten Hag's signings haven't been there and been available. And last season we had so many injuries as well. So he has had to deal with this. And do you know what? I don't want to fall for the excuse because there is no excuse. But maybe this is why we've not seen full Ten Hag ball in full effect yet, because he doesn't feel like he's had the starting 11 of players that can do it the way he wants. But also at the same time, you've brought Onana in to do it, and we've not quite seen it yet. And you should be able to do it with all the types of players. Like, if Kevin De Bruyne isn't playing for Man City, do they stop playing Pep ball? No. Like, no matter who plays for Pep Guardiola, they always play his style of football. Obviously, they've been an established team for a very long period of time, and one of the best teams in the world. Same with Liverpool, though. They always play that same style of transition football, no matter who's playing. And Arsenal have started to do it now as well with their style of football. So United do need to find a style, and I don't cut the injuries as an excuse. He says we have to get the best out of it with the injury issues in the squad. We need to make the next step, integrating Rasmus Hojlund and Sergio Reguilon. See, the fact we're only just integrating these players in near the end of September, again, says it all about our kind of transfer window. Next up, we knew this was coming. The media absolutely love it, everyone. The media absolutely love it. How many times is this going to be spoken about? And would it be getting spoken about if it wasn't an English player? You can have your say on that, because I don't think it would be at all. Onana got asked on his interaction with Harry Maguire in the pre-season game against Dortmund. You know, where Onana came up shouting at Harry Maguire because he did something wrong. He said, "Harry is a very good guy. I have a good relationship with him. I spoke to him this morning before we took off. I don't think we have to talk about what happened. What happens on the pitch stays on the pitch. And that is my leader." And Andre Onana, has he had the best start to his Man United career? No. Do I think it's as bad as people are making out? Absolutely not. But is he a leader? Is he a winner? And is he going to be a good player for Manchester United? I have no doubts. He's a leader. He's a winner. I bet he's thinking in his head, why the hell are people making such a big deal out of this? Why are people talking about this? I've done it. I've done it everywhere. I've done it at Ajax. I've done it at Inter. Like, I'm going to shout at my defenders. I'm going to hold them accountable. He'd do the same thing if it was Lisandro Martinez. Even though, you know, Jamie Carragher wants to say he wouldn't. He would. He would do it, and we'll see it. We'll see it again. This isn't going to be the last of Onana, you know, calling out his defenders. As he said in that interview, I couldn't give one. I mean, are we past 9 o'clock yet? We're not past 9 o'clock. But he said he couldn't give one what anyone on the outside world says. I know what I want to do on the pitch. My players know. What stays on the pitch stays on the pitch. The manager knows what it's about. Mentality, and that's what it is. And this really needs to be dropped right now, because if it wasn't an English player, it would have been. And you know, I wonder what pundits will say when Onana does this again. Could even happen tomorrow night, because it's going to happen. He's going to shout at his players, because that's the way he is, and he's not going to change for anyone. And that's just, like, honestly, Jordan Pickford literally shouts at his players every single game. He shouts at them all for England. He shouts at them every game. And all the English media do is praise Jordan Pickford and say, you know, he's a mentality monster. So is it different because Onana's not from England? Like, does it make it different? I mean, I guarantee you, if Jordan Pickford went up shouting at Harry Maguire in an England game, there wouldn't be a word spoken about it after the game. It's just because it's Andre Onana and it's a player that we've brought in my opinion. I saw a good chat before, and I'm trying to find it. It was about what De Zerbi said. If someone said about De Zerbi, can put your chat in again. I completely lost it before. A keeper should control his area. Yeah, exactly. Gareth Southgate in the chat, Maguire needs time. It's a work in progress. I believe that's probably the real Southgate coming in saying that on that one. But anyway, let's move on to the next part. If anyone can put the De Zerbi chat back in, put it in, because I saw it and can't quite remember it, and it's breezed past me now, if you're still there. Also, like, share and subscribe, everyone watching. We've got over 7,000 of you watching in the room for Erik ten Hag's press conference before Bayern Munich. Tough game coming up. It's a nervous one. But we've got to get behind this team, and we've got so much content coming on this one, and we've got more to get through now, actually. So Onana then got asked about, you know, shot-stopping skills as well as being good with his feet, and he said, I don't think I'm here just because I'm only good with my feet. The most important thing is the team to win, and if the team needs with my feet, I will also be good with my feet. He says, but if we are playing with a low block, I'm a goalkeeper first to save balls. I am very confident that things will be all right. I am looking forward to tomorrow, and I am very confident and excited. Again, nothing's phasing Andre Onana. Should he have saved at least one of the shots against Brighton? Yes, he probably knows that himself. But there's many keepers in this league who should have saved shots that they should have saved. As long as it doesn't happen on a regular basis, then we'll be absolutely fine. Onana is going to be able to play Erik ten Hag's style of play. I love the fact he's just says exactly what he's thinking. He backs himself and he's confident. I really do like him. Mentality monster, I think, we've got there with Onana, and we need someone like that between the sticks. We need someone who's going to hold the back line defensible, going to hold the back line responsible, someone that's going to call stuff out, and Onana can do that. Of course, we want to see more of his shot stopping, but trust me, Andre Onana can shot stop, so let's just wait and see. But of course you can call it out. Against Brighton, people are absolutely right to say he should have saved at least one of them shots. People are right to say so, but hopefully it will happen on a regular basis, because, you know, he's only had 4 games at Man United, guys. I think we need to give him a little bit of time. And then Erik ten Hag was asked on if a reset is needed. He says, "I don't feel that we need a reset. We are in a process. In part of the games we have played very good, but we also show below our levels. What we have to demand is to be consistent, and we have to step up for 90 plus minutes." Yes, Eric, you are correct. We have seen glimpses. We call Manchester United now 10 to 20 minutes FC. 10 to 20 minutes FC is what we call Manchester United, because that's what we've had. We've had 10 minutes here, we've had 10 minutes there. Against Arsenal, we had a good 10 minutes. Against Nottingham Forest, you know, we probably had quite a good few spells in the game. Against Brighton, we had a good 20 minutes max. We need to do it over 90 minutes, and we need to be consistent. And I feel like what Erik ten Hag's trying to say there, without completely calling it out, is that these players need to stop dropping their heads and stick to the game plan. If you face a little bit of adversity, if Brighton score, you don't suddenly start running around like headless chickens, or not even running at all in some cases, and lose it. You stay focused and you stick to the game plan, and that's what these players have been lacking to do. And you know, we have been close in a few occasions. Arsenal, we were close. Obviously, Brighton, we were unlucky with that Hojlund goal getting chalked off. But also at the same time, we had our luck at the Wolves game, with the penalty not being given when it should have been given. And United shouldn't be clinging on to VAR decisions to win games. We should be winning them, and we should be doing more than enough to win them. So I don't like to hear excuses, but he's basically saying the squad need to up the fitness, up the focus, stay switched on, and fight for the badge for 90 minutes. Not too much to ask, is it, when you're playing for Manchester United? Fight for the badge for 90 minutes. That's what we ask. That's what we ask of you, and we didn't see that against Brighton. I expect to see it tomorrow in the Allianz against Bayern Munich, because if we don't see it, we'll get embarrassed. That's the least that we need for tomorrow. He then got asked about Rashford. You know, he's got good individual moments, but does he need to provide more service? Have you spoke to Rashford about it? And Ten Hag said, absolutely, I've spoke to him about it. He said on Rashford and Hojlund, how can the two make benefits from each other? We speak about that. They have to know each other. That process has just started. At the same time, you need results, so it goes hand in hand. So basically saying more time that they play together, the better it'll be. But of course he's having these conversations about it, and of course that they're working on it in training and in games. I'm actually quite excited to see the Rashford-Hojlund partnership develop. If Rashford makes the right decisions and isn't greedy, that could be a brilliant partnership. And I saw some clips going around Twitter, and of course 4 clips isn't enough over the past 2 games, but just with Hojlund kind of being on the pitch, there has been instances where Rashford's really been getting to the byline, using his dribbling skills to get to the byline, beating a defender. More often than not with Rashford, he beats the defender. He's going to beat them. Getting a ball in the box, and unfortunately Rasmus missed one at the end of the Arsenal game. It was really kind of hard to get hold of, to be honest, with a lot of bodies in the way. The Brighton game, he missed the first one that Rashford put in, which I feel like he maybe should have got there. The second one, he managed to put it away, but obviously it was just out. And then the third time Rashford did it, he chose to shoot. He chose to shoot instead of giving it to Hojlund, which was the most stupidest decision. So I think Erik ten Hag will be showing Rashford these clips back and saying, look, I am fine with you taking shots on. I am fine with you scoring goals. We know you can do it. But in this position, when you're close to the byline and Hojlund's waiting in the middle, we need you to get your head up and make that pass. And I'm sure we'll see Rashford continue to improve that, because even though Rashford is rightly so getting called out on bad decision making, because I was tearing my hair out with it in the Brighton game, it has improved since the back end of last season, which is I know that's drastic to say, but Rashford generally wasn't barely passing last season. He started to do it a little bit more. He started to take it onto the left-hand side more and get across into the box, and I think that's only going to improve. And a lot of people say, you know, Rashford needs to be dropped, Rashford this, Rashford that. I think they're being way too harsh. He is one of our only threats going forward. And I think if he gets coached in the right way and he thinks about the team rather than, you know, just always kind of looking to cut in and shoot, we absolutely have a player there that can be so crucial to us and so important. So Rashford for me starts every single day of the week. And one thing I would say, which is inexcusable, because I can excuse a player, you know, sometimes maybe making the wrong decision. I can excuse a player going for a shot and, you know, not getting it on target. I can excuse a player maybe making the wrong pass. What I can't excuse is walking in the last half of a game, the last half an hour of a game, and not pressing, not closing down. Body language, I can't excuse that. And we have seen that a little bit from Rashford recently. So I need to see Rashford giving everything until the end of the game. Because if he's not, then the fitness isn't right and the fitness needs to improve. He's not the only one. There's other players there that have been doing it as well. And when that happens, you will concede goals. And that goal that's been posted by Brighton's admin going round, it's just so embarrassing for Manchester United. Emma Lermouth says, Beth, please stop making excuses for him. These players have been trained since they were 7. If they can't cross now, then they don't play. And MKS says, not for me. Rashi has the abilities, but his character is not good. Needs to sit down. And 350k a week and can't give everything. Give me a rest. A lot of people going in on Rashford. I've seen it. I saw it on the Twitter space today. And I was annoyed. Like, honestly, guys, if there was like a little head cam on me in the Brighton game at Old Trafford, I was annoyed at Rashford. I was giving it because he was annoying me, like the decision making and the laziness. But no one can deny he wasn't our biggest threat. And that's kind of, it's a fine line. Rashford's got to make better decisions, but at the same time, he can be a big threat for us. And we've got to be able to make it work as a team. Glenn says, thought the leaks were meant to stop when Henderson and Lingard left. Sick and tired of rats inside our own club. We are not united in this moment. I saw someone on Twitter before, actually, and obviously we can't say 100%, but the leak was about Bruno having a bust up and Martinez and Lindelof having a bust up, and someone quote tweeted it and was like, our new captain and the 2 centre-backs wonder who this leak could be, as in to say it would be Maguire because he had the captaincy taken off him by Bruno, and obviously he's not getting in the team over Sandro Martinez and Lindelof. And obviously that's just pure speculation, but it just makes me laugh, and you wouldn't be surprised, would you? Scott Stevens, member for 8 months. Hello, Beth. We could use Rashford coming from the bench and start Garnacho against Bayern. Thoughts? Scott, I actually disagree with you because Rashford, you know, whether people like it or not, he's one of the senior members of the squad. And I was speaking to Adam on our space today, not Adam from the United Stand, a different Adam, and he made a really good point and said, you know, Rashford's one of our senior players. We need to go to the Allianz with our senior players to take accountability. And throwing in loads of youngsters would be a little bit unfair. Garnacho off the bench, I think, can be a huge threat. And please, Ten Hag, give Garnacho more than 10 minutes to make an impact tomorrow. Give Garnacho either, you know, I wouldn't be against him starting, but if he's going to come off the bench, please bring him off the bench with at least like 25, half an hour to go. Like, I want to see Garnacho at least get some minutes in him. But I think Rashford has to start because he's one of the more senior players, and they've got to kind of hold themselves accountable with that. A lot of people asking me who I would start on the right. I saw Mark's, is it look ahead that he does? He's look ahead today. And he had this exact same team that was playing against Brighton, but he wasn't the diamond formation. It had Bruno on the right. I wouldn't be surprised if Ten Hag went with that. But honestly, I would still go with Pellistri. I don't care what anyone says. And I know it kind of contradicts my point about young players. I think the guy deserves a chance, and I think we should play a proper right winger on the right wing. If he wants to shore up the midfield for height, then Eriksen can drop out or Bruno can drop out. Bruno's never dropping out in my team, obviously. Bruno is the first name on the team sheet. But I think we should be putting players in their positions. Bruno is not a right winger. Therefore, do not put him on the right wing. Just to get some height in there for Scott McTominay. I don't think it's worth it. I really don't. My team for tomorrow, this is what my team would be. My team would be Onana, Dalot, Lindelof, Martinez, Reguilon, Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno, Pellistri, Rashford and Hojlund. But if Eriksen and our midfield was getting overrun, I would be tempted to bring Scott McTominay on for physicality, because Eriksen, obviously he's good technically, but physically he's going to get beat every time. So I would be looking to bring Scott McTominay on if it wasn't working, but that would be my team. I want players playing in positions where that's their best position. I don't want Bruno out on the right against Bayern Munich. I really don't, but I think Ten Hag will do it. Tony Okafor says Rashford lacks tactical intelligence. Yeah, I reckon so. I reckon so as well. I think that is something that he's definitely missing to his game. All players have different strengths and weaknesses, but Rashford's weakness definitely is sometimes a little bit of football IQ. Yeah. What about Amrabat? Amrabat is still training on his own, not quite there yet. No one's back from injury for this game. No one's back. If anything, we've lost someone because we've lost Maguire. You can kind of work out how much of a big loss that is. But to finish up this press conference, because, you know, we've been talking now about it for a lot. Erik ten Hag with some answers you'd really expect. Andre Onana with some good little nuggets there of where you can see his mentality. Ten Hag kind of saying, you know, trusting this team. We need to hold ourselves accountable. We need to work for 90 minutes. We need to give everything for 90 minutes. We need to be focused. And honestly, the last thing I want to say before, you know, we move into tomorrow, because I'm not going to lie, I've sat here to myself and I've thought, we're playing Bayern Munich away in the Champions League. I should be absolutely buzzing for tomorrow night. I should be going to bed tonight thinking, can't wait to wake up in the morning and have, you know, the day of content to do and do, you know, watch this game. I should be absolutely buzzing for it. But unfortunately, I've really not been able to get excited for it. And I think that's just because United have knocked the wind out of me with so many poor performances. But I want to tell everyone, we've got to get behind our players. We've got to, if the players can't show up for a game like this in the Champions League nights, you're back in the Champions League after playing Europa League football, you're at the Allianz in Bayern Munich, the atmosphere is going to be insane. If you can't turn up in a game like this, then don't bother turning up at all, seriously. Because this is a game where, if you can't turn up for this, you just shouldn't play football. You know, Newcastle are getting battered pillar to post by Milan today, and they managed to see out the game and get a 0-0. I would take a 0-0 at Bayern Munich. I know it's boring, but I would. United have got to go into this with a good game plan. They've got to stick to it. They've got to weather the storms. They've got to take chances when they can. And they've got to stick together as a team and give everything on that pitch. But everyone, let's get behind United. I'm going score prediction, even though I said I think we're going to lose. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. 1-1 draw. I've seen a lot of people saying 4-0 to the Germans in the chat. I hope not. But everyone, get behind the team. Make sure you hit a like on this video if you want Man United to win tomorrow. Thank you everyone for tuning in and getting all your comments in the chat. Come on United tomorrow. We'll be with you. Morning show, road trip. We also have the build-up, watch-along forum. We'll be with you for all the latest action tomorrow. And Ricky is back, everyone. Game day tomorrow, and Ricky is back on the forum on the build-up show, so stay tuned for that. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night, and I'll see you on the next one.